Is it live? There we go. Finally got this thing working. Everybody, it's Jim, the tabletop engineer. Hang on one second while I turn this above light off. That's not the problem. I've just got all the fluorescents on really high today. And so it's you're getting a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe the camera is, let me check something. No, yeah, that was it. Had a fingerprint on the camera. Hey, good morning. This is Jim, the tabletop engineer, coming to you live from my workshop. I am in a really good mood today for a lot of reasons. One, I've been fighting a cold, and finally today, I feel good. Been fighting it for like a week, but all good. And it's still cold here in Atlanta. It's still cold in the workshop, but I'm as happy as I can be because it's a busy day and there's a lot more to happen today. Anytime I have my laser running, both 3D printers running back there, and I've got projects galore on my work desk here. Let me see if I can show this to you. I don't know if this is going to work. I've got all kinds of glue ups and things going on, new things to share with you. First, I got all my zines in so I could start today on the fulfillment Kickstarter. It was for Runes 5. These are zines that I write, and I do it about every 2 to 3 months. This is Dungeon Depths number 5 and Delver number 16. So if you're a backer of this project starting today, I am going to be starting fulfillment. It'll take me like 2 or 3 days. This one was not there weren't a lot of add-ons and extras and things like that. There were some brochures, but putting it all up in a mailer and getting it in the mail is not going to be bad at all. So what am I making this morning? Well, I've got different things. I'm gluing up a 2D6 dungeon board. That should be done in a few minutes. I'm gluing up a whole bunch of my Cthulhu Death May Die trays, player trays. This is the faceplate that the card goes under it. There's a box or a tray. This snap it holds the card in place. And those have been selling like crazy. I can't make them fast enough. Yesterday, I'll tell you why I'm in a real good mood. Yesterday, my order of the little brass feet that go on the 4 corners of the boards. Oh, hold on. My laser's acting up right now because it's so cold. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I vent my laser to the outside, and I had this foam panel that holds the venting. Is that it? Oh, it's done. It holds the venting tube, and sometimes when it's really cold, I got to figure out a better way. The piece of insulation falls out, so I got to go put it back on. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I got all the 100 feet, so 25. I can make 25 of the boards for the players. And that was not supposed to arrive until like February. So I'm really happy that I ordered those from China, and you just never know. And so they arrived very quickly. So I've got the zines. Those are going to be going out today. Those of you who today on my live chat, I was painting up a new Frostgrave piece. It's done. Let me share it with you. And I added the snow effect. So here you go. There it is. All that work, the painting, the dry brushing, everything is done. It's all glued together. I shouldn't do this. Yeah, it's all glued together. So it's a one solid piece. It's very large, but it's going to look so good on the table when I'm playing Frostgrave. I've just wanted so long to play Frostgrave with terrain that looked the part, because for years and years and years, I played with just standard fantasy terrain that didn't have the snow effect or the icy effect. And it was fun, but when you're such a fan of the game as I am, it's been too long that I've avoided doing this. So I'm 3D printing lots of terrain. Yeah, this is Frostgrave terrain that I'm 3D printing back here, and just trying to keep it going. Set this aside so I don't knock it off the table. So what else is going on today? Well, there is a convention here in Atlanta. Well, let me take a step back. During the month of June or July, every year, there is a convention here in Atlanta called Southern Fried Game Expo. It's so fun. It's video games, pinball, role-playing, board games, card games, war game, you name it. It's a gaming convention, and they do it very well. Well, I guess people were screaming for more. They spun off another convention that occurs in January, and it's called Dice and Diversions. And it starts today in Atlanta, and it goes through Sunday. And as I understand it, I could be wrong, but it's already outgrown the hotel they were at last year. So I think they're at a new hotel this year. I could be wrong on that. Or maybe it's next year that they're moving. But it's growing. I mean, I didn't have any doubts that it would, because Southern Fried is really getting big. It's moved like venues like 4 times, and as it's grown. And I suspected that Dice and Diversions would go very quickly, because the people who run Southern Fried run this one, and everybody knows that put on a good show. So a good friend of mine, Brian Swift, who runs Yellowhammer Terrain, he's there today selling his 3D printed terrain, and he sells a lot of it painted, so you don't have to paint it. And if I can get, it runs today from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday morning. And then Saturday it goes, no, it's today 10 a.m. It may be, I can't remember. Tomorrow, I know Saturday it's 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then Sunday, I think it's noon to 6 or 10 to 6. I can't remember. But I'm hoping to get up there today. If I can't get up there today, I definitely have plans to go tomorrow. And so if any of you are watching this and are going to be attending Dice and Diversions, reach out to me. Let me know. Hopefully, it's not as big a venue as Southern Fried, so you should be able to find me. I just wander. I do play games. If I find a game that interests me, I'll sit down at the table and play it. I do have some friends that are going to be playing Marvel Champions there tomorrow, so I will be bringing. I'll be bringing probably my Captain America deck, and if I see a group playing, I may try to jump in. Otherwise, I'll just wander around and just jump into games where I can. So today, it's just everything hit me at once. I got over the cold. The laser stuff is just coming in like crazy. The zines arrived, so I got to get those out the door. I've got a lot of terrain to be painting and assembling, and then I've got videos to shoot and upload. So it's a good problem to have. It's one of those days where if I was sick, I would just be miserable. But since my cold broke, I guess I've been NyQuiling it a lot, and I woke up this morning, I was like, hey, I feel good. So I just rushed down here, and I've been working all morning. And I'm going to keep going until I finish. The fulfillment, I won't be able to do it all today. Well, I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. When my boys get home, I may get them to help me. We'll see from school. So anyway, let's see. I've got 10 people viewing. That's a surprise. Friday morning at 10:30. I really didn't know. YouTube records this. People can watch it later, which is I'm glad that is the case, because if it weren't being recorded, I would have an issue. We've got someone commenting here. Morning, Jim, says David. Good morning, David. You'll have to reach out to me and tell me how your interview went. What do you use to glue your 3D prints together with? I've got both resin and filament printers, going to print some things that need to be good. Good question. Right now, I use, and I hate it because I'm very allergic to it, I use Bob Smith Instacure gap filling. This stuff is not cheap. I am really sort of glad I'm trying to find ways to not use super glue because I'm so allergic to it. If I have to wear this full mask. I mean, and it has to be tightened down. And then I have a fan over here that I turn on high, and it blows the air across. So it keeps the fumes from getting to my face. Because when the fumes reach my face, my eyes and everything, I just react really negatively to it. But that's what I use. I currently have a bottle of 3D Gloop. That's the name of the product, 3D Gloop, Gloop. I ordered it a week ago, maybe not that long. I can't remember. It hasn't arrived yet, but apparently it does not have cryoacetate, Ca, which is what Super Glue has. That it is not going to give me the reaction that Super Glue does. Apparently it holds PLA together very well, but it does have a shelf life. The bottle comes with a warning that says if you don't use it, once you open it, I think it's got like a 3 or 4 month use. Now I go through a bottle of this in probably 2 or 3 months. So if I'm using it like I do the Ca, the shelf life of it probably won't be an issue for me, but we'll see. I'll let you know. When it arrives, I'm going to do some tests and hopefully I can switch over to 3D Gloop. David says, I think you can use No More Nails to glue them. I'll check on that. No More Nails. Is that a resin? Oh, like not a, is that a, an epoxy? You mix it and then, or does it come in a tube? I can't recall, but, I am open to suggestions because I've had so many bad reactions to Ca glue. I mean, I've taped the cover up here. I take it and I put it well away from me. I don't think the fumes are that, coming out of the bottle, but I just keep her away from me as I can. So, so yeah, I just finished, by the way, this little piece right here, which I'm gonna, I'll prime it black, dry brush it gray, hit the floorboards with brown. Then I'll give it that blue icy dry brush and then the snow effect, and we'll have another piece. And right now my 3D printers are printing similar pieces, similar in size, scatter terrain standard. No More Nails works for both resin and PLA. Oh, he's asking a question. Comes in a tube. What it doesn't have is the speed. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. Sometimes I need super glue just because of the speed in which it dries. And I do have an accelerant that you can spray, so when you touch it, it's instant. But again, if I can get away from Ca super glue, I'd really like that. There might be something to be said for using combination of No More Nails and hot glue. Yeah, hot glue is cool. Hot glue, the one of the reasons I don't use hot glue a lot is it compress well. So if you're gluing two completely flat surfaces together with hot glue, you can't compress it like super glue, like a liquid glue. It's always going to have a limit to how much you can pull it together. And but it is good for holding things together temporarily. So you let the Ca glue or some other glue dry, and then you don't care about the hot glue. But hot glue, in my experience, doesn't do well for plastic to plastic over periods of time. If you drop it, it's gonna break apart because hot glue doesn't get down into the surface of the plastic, or it doesn't do a chemical reaction with the plastic to form a more a stronger bond. But it is good. It is good. Super glue bothers me too. There was a crafter channel a couple years ago. He's no longer on. He's a British guy, and I just went blank on his name. Y'all probably, some of you will know who I'm talking about. He did a lot of Warhammer terrain. He was really good. His name was I just went blank on his name. Anyway, he had the same thing. And one day he shot a video and he uploaded it, and I was watching it, and I could see his eyes were so blood red. They were all it was all patchy and irritated and red. And I texted him or emailed him or messaged him, and I said, "Hey man, are you allergic to super glue?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Your eyes look exactly like mine do when I get a good whiff of the super glue." And it's not just the redness; it's itchy and it burns and it makes your eyes water and it's horrible. And I just don't want to ever deal with it again. Love your channel. Looking forward to that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have my my channel. I don't go for the super polished professional look, mainly because all I want to do is play games, make stuff, and then do it all over again. And so I tend to cut out, I try to edit my videos as best I can, but to a point, I don't, there's this point where I'm like, okay, the more work I'm putting I just want to go play a game or make some more stuff. And so thank you for that. I always worry that my channel, isn't appealing because I don't do a lot of heavy editing, and I tend to have just one or two camera angles, and sometimes my microphone goes bad or the batteries die on it, things like that. But thank you. I appreciate it. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, mainly because I enjoy sharing anything I do. When I make stuff or when I play games, I enjoy sharing it with others. So I will keep it going. Looking forward to those Maladum. Yes. Yes. You're not going to have to wait too much longer. I can promise you that. Another live stream watchable on UK time. Well, don't get too spoiled. The main reason I do it during the day is because I'm here in my workshop, and while I'm waiting on glue to dry or things to print or things to cut, I can turn the camera on and at least chat with you folks and see what's going on. So yeah, happy to do it. I don't get expecting one every day. This was kind of lucky that I had it just depends on how crazy things are. Right now, if I were doing fulfillment of the zines, I probably wouldn't do it because I need to focus. You don't want to put two of something in an envelope or leave something out. So you got to be kind of focused. But right now I can sort of do it. So this is one of the trays that I'm gluing up right here. I use blue tape to hold the joints together on the end. I use wood glue for this, Tight Bond or whatever. And once the glue is really got a good hold, then I take the feet, I flip the board over, I put it in the corner like so, and then I have a little screwdriver, and there's a screw there's a hole there and a hole there, and it's enough to hold the two sides together and give it some strength. You can't put, once the four legs are on it, you couldn't put your hand on this. It would probably break holes or break a glue bond, because it's not designed to put a lot of weight on it. But I really like how these have turned out. When I stain the wood and then I put these feet on it, it gives us this old timey 1930s, 1950s look. And apparently a lot of people agree and like it, because like I said, right now I'm gluing up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I got a fifth and sixth one that I'm not gluing yet. But 6 this morning, I've got 4 going out tomorrow. I got another order today of 4 for next week. So yeah, it's good to be busy, and it's nice to be able to work in my hobby, right? I mean, my writing is game related. My laser work is mostly game related. I do some off non-gaming stuff. The videos are gaming related. So all my side hustles put together, it's good. And I'm always happy for people. If someone is looking at doing what I do, I'll answer your questions. Do I recommend it? Not unless you have a solid source of income. Like my laser business is my primary source. Without that laser business, I wouldn't be able to do the videos and the zines and things. Although I'll be honest, the zines have reached a point now where they're generating almost 50% of my income. So I do worry at some point that my laser business or my zine business, I'm going to have to make a hard call one day and pick one, right? I love to write, so the zines are fun to do, and it would be hard to let them go. But I also love my laser business. I love being able to make stuff, or at least things in my head. I see things first, and then I draw it on paper, and I'm a horrible artist, but I do my best. If it's really complex, I'll take it into a CAD program like Tinkercad. Do work in Fusion a little bit. Fusion, I need to spend like about 10 to 20 hours really diving into Fusion. Not Cold Fusion. Is it Cold? What is it? Fusion 360. That's it. I need to spend about 10 to 20 hours just really diving into it straight. to ramp up my next level of skills in it, and I just time yet. And Tinkercad, I'm good at Tinkercad. I'm very fast with Tinkercad, so I will often design something rough in Tinkercad, and then use those dimensions. Tinkercad will export SVG files, which are what a laser will use. So a lot of times when I design something in Tinkercad, I can export the files immediately and cut them out and build a prototype. And then after the prototype, you start refining it. You find ways that you can make things strong or reduce the amount of cut time and stuff like that. But yeah, I enjoy that part of my day, and I don't know if I want to give up on that. So thankfully, right now I don't have to make that choice. Back to work for me. Thanks you, Jim. I'll watch the rest. No problem. Yep. Once you have that hammer, everything looks like, yeah, I'm serious. And you probably work with Fusion, I bet, David. I suspect you do. I like Fusion 360. It's very powerful, but man, it has a learning curve to it. I like Blender, and I'd love to really get good with Blender, but it's just time. It's time. So hang on one second. I need to restart my laser to cut another item. I will be back. Hang tight. I don't know if you can hear, but I'm just centering the beam, and I'm choosing an origin so I can start another cut job. Origin and start. All right, so the laser is fired up, and typically, this is probably more information you want to know. But typically, what I do when I'm making things with a laser, if somebody orders one item, and it's an item that I sell maybe weekly or monthly or whatever, when someone orders one, I make two, and then I take the second one, I put it on a shelf over here, this kitchen tray thing, and that way when the next order comes in, it's ready to, and then I don't have any, so the next time somebody orders it again, I make two. Now some items I'll make 3, some items I'll make 10. It just depends. When I get into Christmas ornament season, when somebody orders, say, a train ornament, there's probably 50 train ornaments worth in here. So what I do is when I cut one train, I cut the parts for, say, 10 more. And then I just take those parts and I throw them in here. And probably around August, I'll start putting these together. And then when November, December come around and it's ornament season, I'll have 50 to 100 trains that are ready to go. When I sell them, they're personalized. You can put a message and a name and a number and all that. So what I do is I make them up to a point, and then I get the personalization. I engrave that and cut it out on the pieces. I glue those pieces on, and it's done. And I've learned over the years to take advantage of the downtime that you have to make the things that you know are seasonal. Seasonal items, if you can get ahead of that, it's well. The non-seasonal items, like I said, if it's a big item, and what I'm cutting right now is I'm cutting a card tray for a game called Marvel Champions. It's a 3-level display that you can put the cards on as you play the game. When you normally play the game, the cards are laid flat on the table, and people, when they're playing, they can't really see the cards or read the text. So I designed this, and it holds everything upright, and it sells very well. I usually sell a couple a week, and so, like I said, when I make one, if I don't have one to bank, I make a second one, because when you're making one item, when you're gluing one item up, it's really not that much hard to go ahead and glue a second one up. And you're just going back and forth repeating. And when you're done, you have one ready to send out, and then you have one you can sit over to the side, and it's ready to send out the next time somebody orders it. It's pretty gentle, actually, but you need a project. Yeah, I probably do. Yeah, like I said, Fusion 360, I've played with it, and I can use it, but I really need a good, I would say 20 hours of just really just focusing in on the things I needed to learn how to do with it. And it's got a lot of bells and whistles, and it's nothing like Tinkercad. Tinkercad is so simple, and I think that's why I use it, is what I need it to do. It is kind of Lego childish looking, but it's powerful. I mean, you can do some really cool stuff with Tinkercad. And like I said, the ability to export files that I can immediately take to my laser cutter. Now it'll export 3D files that you can. When I discovered that I could export SVG files, that was a game changer, because, like I said, I designed this and this in Tinkercad so that I could make, when you design it on paper, you can do that if you have graph and things like that. But in Tinkercad, you can play around with the height and the thickness and stuff, but you can set the thickness of the wood to your defined thickness and you don't have to change it. You can do that in Fusion 360 too. But I just it snaps in and it holds really tight, so that it, and it comes out fairly. You don't want to tug it too hard, but it comes out. And actually, what I may have to sand this one just a little bit just to make a good tight fit. But I took this from Tinkercad, sent the files right to the laser. It worked. I made a few tweaks here and there, but yeah, it was really fun to design that. Not 100% over my cold. Still got a little bit of a cough. Sorry. Let's see. What else am I working on today? Well, let's see. Zines, 3D printing, laser cutting, gluing up. That's about it. And it's cold down here in the basement, so I'm gonna be cutting out of here pretty soon. I'm gonna keep this one to like 30 minutes. But so glad to have 14 of you online with me, probably listening from work with headphones, so your boss doesn't get you in trouble. But yeah, I just figured I'd jump on real quick with a live stream and just share with you how my day is going. If I can, once the laser's done cutting this one, I'm caught up. Well, I'm never caught up, but so when someone orders something on Etsy, you can define the lead time, that's the time it takes from when you get the order to when you ship it, right? The lead time. So I know certain items I can make in 2 hours. Some take days because you want the glue to really set up over a day or two and be really strong. Just depends on the items. So when someone orders something, it will tell me on Etsy that I must ship by this date. And so right now I've got everything that's got to ship on or before Monday being cut or already cut and gluing up. And then Monday, which is a holiday and no mail service that day, I always take advantages of holidays, like when the mail's not running, because Etsy builds that into the delivery. It tells the person when they buy an item, this is the expected ship date that you should get it. And I define that. I tell Etsy this item takes 3 to 5 business days to before I ship it. So when someone orders it, Etsy says, this is your expected date, and it'll give like a 1 to 2 day range. And when you have a holiday like Martin Luther King Day on Monday and the mail service isn't running, Etsy automatically builds that into your estimated time of delivery. So I love holidays, working holidays like that, because most people, my wife works on that day. A lot of places don't close down, but I use it to get ahead. So right now I've got like 8 or 9 orders that will go out late next week or early into the following week. And so Monday, what I'll do, get up really early, get down here, and I'll do as much as I can on that Monday, taking advantage of that, no interruptions day or whatever. And because when my boys are out of school, which they are, they don't come down here. They're going to go hang with their friends or get and play video games or whatever. And I'll get some good time to work. So I plan on using that to catch up. But I don't know if you heard, that's the beeping of the laser done with what I'm cutting. Let me see if I can take you over there and show this to you. I think it's kind of interesting. You might find it interesting. Let me microphone. Come on, don't. I got so many cables here. All right, so I'm going to set the thing here. So my laser is cooling, right? Well, it's not cooling. It's venting the smoke out. That is what pops out sometimes. The tube is very violent as the air is going out, the exhaust. And so sometimes it shakes that foam loose because it's cold and the foam is contracted. So it's not as form fitting as I want. But let me see if I can do this for you. So I'm going to open this up. This is tricky holding this with my hand. I hope you'll hear me. Let's move this over here. So I have controls here, which allow me to move. This is called the gantry right here. And the laser head is right there. That's where it started the job and it finishes the job. So let's see if I can hold this up here for you. Sorry for the shakiness. The controls to push the gantry away from the wood. So I'm freeing my space up. And then let's move the microphone out of the way. Let's put it up here. And what I'm going to do is I lift the wood out. And you can see it leaves certain pieces. I got little holders I got to remove to hold the wood down flat. I lift it out. And what's left is 2 trays. So the top one there, that's one tray. The second one that I told you that I cut. And those are the pieces I designed. And so what I typically do is I just put all the pieces that are going to go together. This is the bottom half of the tray here. And then these pieces are the top half of the, or that's the bottom half. No, that's the bottom half. That's the top half. And these are waste. I used to keep these thinking I would use them for something, but ultimately I just pitch them because there's just no use for them. So once I get the pieces cut out, you guys are getting way more than you probably wanted out of this video this morning. Carl, hey, welcome, Carl. Good to see you. Good to hear you. Good to see your typing. There it is. How do you store your spools for the 3D printers? For my engineer wife who's badgering me to get a 3D printer, but not enough storage space. They come, I just happen to have this because I'm using it to weigh down something. This is a box of 2 spools of gray filament. I keep them in the, I don't keep filament like in stock a lot. I have a few rolls back there of different colors that I rarely use, but I tend to order them 2 at a time. They come vacuum sealed like this. And until I need them, I don't slice them. And a lot of people will tell you that humidity will kill the PLA. And I guess it does. The summer here in Atlanta can get very humid. But since I'm in an air-conditioned house and the basement tends to stay cooler than the above, I've never really had any problem with filament and humidity issues. But I do know that a lot of people will tell you that once you open it, use it because it does have not a shelf life so much, but I guess it gets squishy or maybe it gets something happens to it. But yeah, I typically order it in 2 spools. When I get down to 1 spool, well, because I have printers, I have 2. So when I load it, I order more if I'm expecting to 3D print. Now, I know I'm running both of them, but I don't run my 3D printers like 24/7, 365 days a year. I go through spurts where I'm just like crazy 3D printing, and then I chill for a while. But I typically order 2 at a time, and they come in a box, and I just keep them in the box until I need to break them open and use them. So I hope that answers your question. The waist looks base shaped. It is, Carl, but I mean, seriously, each one of those produces 4 of those, and sometimes I'll be making 4 to 5 of these a week. When you get 30 to 40 of those little ovals, I don't really play any games that use that as a base. I mean, maybe I could package them and sell them, but nah. I mean, if somebody out there sees them and wants them and says, "Hey, man, I'd buy that," they would be dirt cheap because they're waste. I would probably sell those either not necessarily at a loss, but probably at my cost plus shipping, because I hate throwing them away. I really do hate disposing of wood. I use wood up like crazy. Like, let me show you that piece of wood that I just used right here. This is a 2 by 4 foot piece of plywood. This is $22. $22. And you can see there's wood left over. So I don't waste this. What I do is, you saw those Christmas ornaments that I can cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I can cut 14 trains from this waste wood. I also have some other items. I have about 4 or 5 different Christmas ornaments. So depending on the size of the cut, I might be able to get, say, 30 rocking horse ornaments. So I take this piece and I have a pile over here against the wall. And right now it looks to be about 15 to 20 sheets. And I just stick this over there. And when I find myself needing to cut something small, I go over to my waste pile and I first find to see if I have a, and then usually around July or August, I start burning my waste wood by cutting out train ornaments, rocking horse ornaments, race car ornaments, and I have a new airplane ornament. So you want to, I try not to waste. I do. But those little oval things, not found a use for those. I haven't found any real reason to keep them. So they're gone. So that's that. Let me set this here. Let's see. Nice throwing away wood really is painful. It really is. I mean, it's wood, and granted, it's a net in my business, but yeah, I try to use up as much as you can. And also, when you're running a laser business, it's all about, I mean, any business is about, you don't want to throw money away. And when you throw large sections of wood away, you're throwing money away. So it's always best to try to find a use for everything. So, well, listen, we're at 36 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut away because I do need to go upstairs and take a break, and I need to clear my work table here. And you would just see me be a panic attack here happening. So rather than have you endure that, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to wish all of you a great weekend. I'm going to go hopefully tonight, but definitely tomorrow, to Dyson Diversions and play some games and some friends. And maybe some of you will make it to Atlanta. So Craft of the Yeti, hello, goodbye. Have a good, sorry. Grace says, have an awesome weekend. I don't know if some of you just came on. I apologize. I tried to do these hour, but I really have run out of things to share with you. So trust me, this is not the last live session. You will have plenty more of these coming in the future. This is recorded. So after I click end, it takes 5 to 15 minutes, and then YouTube makes it fully available. So if you are coming in it not towards the beginning of it, you can go back and rewatch and see what happens. All right. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll be back very soon with another one, everybody. Take care. Bye.